When I talk about spiritual issues, spiritual solutions, it is because more often than not, some of the things that affect us in our lives, be it in marriage, be it at work, with our finances, be it with our health, these are things that can be, coming from a spiritual angle. And this is the unique part of the Cornerstone Focused Therapy, because this is one of the integration that I do as a therapist, because I believe it's very important. Welcome back to Cornerstone Focused Therapy, your rock solid foundation for building relationships, for your emotional well-being, for psychological as well as spiritual solutions. My name is Etienne Becker, your host, therapist, counselor, and spiritual consultant. And in this section, I want us to look at the spirituality aspect when it comes to Cornerstone Focused Therapy. This is going to be a bit interesting. It's part of the introduction series, mini series, where I have been taking time to break down what Cornerstone Focused Therapy is all about. So stay tuned and let's get into this. I'd just like to take a moment to describe what spirit is. And the dictionary describes spirit as the non-physical part of a person, which sits the emotions and the character of a person. The spirit part. There is a body, there's a soul, and there's a spirit. So there, aside from the body, the physical body, there's a spiritual side of the body, which is part of the body. And majority of the time, this is not addressed. And I feel like it's a very key and crucial part to look at, because some of the things that affect how we behave come from a spiritual aspect. And so it's very important to look at the spiritual aspect of things. Everyone has a spirit, and everyone has a way of understanding what the spirit is. And in life, we all believe that there's a higher power. In religions talk about gods, okay? And this is the spiritual aspect that each and every individual has, whether you know it or whether you don't. Everyone has some kind of belief about, some kind of protection. When you go out, whatever you do, there's somewhere where you feel like spiritually you need to be connected to. Okay, so this is something that is not easily talked about, but it is a very important part to look at. And in the example I want to give, it takes me back to when I was studying as to become a therapist, a psychotherapist. And I want to give this example about one of the people that we were studying with. This person, I remember I could see when we get to class, they're feeling a bit down, and I was trying to find out what's wrong, what could be affecting them, and I was shown a picture of what was going on, or what had gone on in their lives when they were much younger. I remember I talked about the psychodynamic aspect of therapy which is one of the theories that I use, where I believe that the past has a way of affecting the present and how we move on in life. And so the spiritual aspect is also kind of a psychodynamic aspect or theoretical orientation, because in this example, this person that I was studying with, I could see them when they were young, and I could see a man with them, a manly figure with them. So something had transpired from what I could see in the spirit when I talk about the spiritual aspect of therapy. And 2 years after, or a year after, as we were studying, we had to write our story and talk about what really affected us and what we think has really shaped the way we are. And lo and behold, the person who I used to see from a spiritual aspect about their lives, where they are there with a man, and something must have transpired with them that affected their lives. It was the core thing that had actually affected this person. And so a year and a half later, or 2 years, can't remember the exact times, but it took almost a year when we came to now share stories individually. You stand at the front and you present to your fellow students what happened to your life, what you think went down. And it's you have to show your vulnerability about what has affected you. And this person actually came to share about the exact thing that I could see that happened to them a year before they came to talk about it. So when it comes to spiritual issues, that was the main thing that was troubling this person. And I thank God for the gift that I was able to see what their problem was before they could even talk about it. So there is a spiritual element that is going on in you, in me, and in everybody that can have a very, big impact upon how you live, what's affecting you. So the fact that I was able to see that a year before, and then to come and share a year after, it just shows that this is real. Otherwise, how they didn't tell me about it, but it had happened to them. And I was like, wow, you mean I can see this thing happen even before the person comes to tell me about it? I was like, wow. So the reason why I'm talking about this is because there's a spiritual aspect when it comes to Cornerstone Focused Therapy, because I talk about being a platform where you build relationships there, where there is emotional well-being that is being looked at. There's psychological as well as spiritual solutions. So in this example that I've just given, you can see that the issue that was going on with this person had to do with when they were young and what had happened to them. And it's something that I knew about, but I didn't confront them, I didn't talk to them about it. But a year after, they come and they talk about it. So for me, I believe it's very important to look at the spiritual aspect of things. I don't know what you think about what we're talking about today, but I'm just gonna stop there for now, because I've given that example and I do not want to keep repeating myself. But I just, let me know what you think, because I believe when it comes to the spiritual issues that go on in our lives, they do affect our well-being. And when we do not look at them, when we do not deal with them, when we do not seek for a solution from them, they will keep affecting us. And in order to stop that, we need to look at them. All right then. So click that subscribe button, obviously, to turn on that notification bell, because I'm going to be sharing, like I said, more and more videos. All right. So see you in the next video.